I've been given talking points, and I don't like reading speeches, never have. But my chief of staff did put some stuff down here in writing just to make sure I don't miss anything. So I'm going to be reading a little bit, then we're going to open up for questions. I've been on the ground less than 3 full days. I got in here Monday. President of the United States called me Monday morning and asked me to deploy here. Got here Monday evening, and I'm staying till the problem's gone. But we've made a lot of progress in the last 3 days. Marcos Charles, he's running ICE operations here. There you go. Rodney Scott, Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, standing here beside me. Good morning, I'm Tom Homan, I'm the Border Czar for President Trump. I'm here on behalf of the President, along with U.S. Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Rodney Scott, and Marcos Charles, who's leading the enforcement effort here right now. I've been on the ground since Monday to regain law and order in the city beloved by many, and work together to remove threats from the community. During the past administration, we'll all remember more than 10 million illegal aliens entered this nation. Many were national security threats, public safety threats. We can't remember over 2 million known gotaways. 2 million people who paid more to get away. Why? That just scared the hell out of everybody. President Trump promised the American people, including the residents of Minnesota, that he would work to ensure our communities are safe. And with that, this administration is absolutely focused on identifying removal aliens that pose a public safety threat and national security threats. And the numbers prove it. The data proves it. In the past few days, I've met with Governor Walz, Attorney General Ellison, Mayor Frey, numerous police chiefs and sheriffs, and I have more to meet. I'll also be continuing the dialogue with business and religious leaders in partnership with Minnesota, your community leaders. I'll be meeting with them too. I want to hear what they have to say.
Well, thank you for everyone joining us. Welcome in, everyone watching the stream. We have a big announcement apparently coming up from President Trump in about an hour, a little under an hour, at 3:30 p.m. Central Time for me and 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the President. So we will have plenty of time before then. If you're just joining in, we're streaming here on Kick, X, YouTube. Go ahead and like the stream, smash the like button, and share it with someone. Leave a comment below. Let me know where you're joining in from. So we've got over a dozen people already joined in. We just started. So keep sharing the stream out. Send it to someone. Send it to a friend, family member, colleague. We're going to see what President Trump has to say coming up here at 3:30. Until then, I thought we would check out what the Border Czar, Tom Homan, had to say. I haven't gotten a chance to watch this whole clip. And so that's what we were just watching. Go ahead and get this ready here. Let's watch this together.
In my meetings with folks so far, and most important, the governor and the AG, the Mayor Frey, we didn't agree on everything. I didn't expect to agree on anything. I've heard many people want to know why we're talking to people who they don't consider friends in administration. Bob?
Right there. He said people are wondering why are you talking to people that are not friends of the administration? It doesn't matter if they're not friends. You want to work together, whether someone's a Democrat or a Republican, even though they may not agree with you, and that's okay. It's totally fine. They may not agree with you. The thing about it is sorry, got distracted here from my cell phone push notifications. I need to turn these off. what were we just talking about? The borders are Tom Homan talking about these people are saying, why are you talking to these folks that are not friendly with the administration, right? Well, it doesn't matter if they're friendly with the administration or not. You need to, like I said, you need to interact with them. You need to have conversations. You need to say, hey, Mayor Fry, this is messed up. This stuff's effed up, right? Let's fix this. We don't want people getting shot on the street. We don't want Americans being shot on the street. But, you also can't obstruct law enforcement, whether it's local law enforcement, federal law enforcement, doesn't matter. You can't obstruct them. So everyone's got their own opinion, I'm sure, but I gotta wonder that Tom Homan here is wondering why people are calling him out for trying to talk to people. So let's see what else he has to say. Just had to throw my commentary in there.
Bottom line is you can't fix problems if you don't have discussions. I didn't come to Minnesota for photo ops or headlines. You haven't seen me. I came here to seek solutions, and that's what we're going to do. And we've come a long way, and we got some good wins for the people of Minnesota, I think, and for the administration and for the safety security of this city. One thing we did agree on, though, everybody I talked to agreed on, was that community safety is paramount. One thing we all agreed on was U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement is a legitimate law enforcement agency that has a duty to enforce the laws enacted by Congress and keep this community safe. Like I've said many times for the last several years, even before this administration, jurisdictions that refuse to cooperate with federal immigration authorities are sanctuaries for criminals. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals and endangers the residents of the community. To be clear, we did not agree with Minnesota state and local officials that they would be involved in immigration enforcement. I didn't ask them to be immigration officers. I'm asking them to be cops working with the cops to help us take criminal aliens off the street. What we did agree upon is not to release public safety arrests back in the community, and they could be lawfully transferred to ICE. I'll speak more about that. I will highlight that the Minnesota State Prison System under the Department of Corrections have been honoring ICE detainers. And we appreciate that important collaboration, and we're going to expand upon that. That decision has made Minnesota safer, not only for residents of Minnesota, but the men and women law enforcement. Not just ICE, all law enforcement. Rather than arresting the same public safety threat, significant public safety threat over and over again, they agree to work with us to identify those people and remove them. I'm also pleased to announce I had a very good meeting with Attorney General Ellison, and he has clarified for me that county jails may notify ICE of the release dates of criminal public safety risks so ICE can take custody of them upon the release from the jail. And let me tell you why that's important. I know people are a lot concerned about the manpower has been set in law enforcement manpower. Look, I've said this many times before. I've said it for the last several years. Give us access to the illegal alien public safety threat and the safety and security of a jail. It's common sense. It's safer for the community, it's safer for the agent, and it's safer for the alien. Because anything can happen on a street arrest. It just makes common sense. And for the people that argue, well, we're a welcoming community because we want victims and witnesses of crime that are here illegally to feel safe to come to police without fear they're working with ICE, we're not going to talk to the victim and witness of crime. There's no problem there. They should feel safe to come to police and ask for help. All we want is to talk to the person that local and state law enforcement authorities locked in a jail cell. They chose to lock this person up. That's who we want to talk to, the public safety threat. So that argument is that protects victim witnesses of crime. It's a bunch of crap. Victims and witnesses of crime don't want the bad guy back in their neighborhood either. So great progress with the Attorney General and local sheriffs. And one thing, when we have these agreements, it takes less law enforcement agents to do the job. One agent can arrest one bad guy in the safety and security of a jail where he's behind the wire. We know we don't have weapons. But when you normally release that public safety threat, illegal alien back in the community, we have a job to do. We're going to arrest them. So we're going to find them. And what happens is now we got to arrest somebody on his turf who has access to who knows what weapons. Now we got to send the whole team out. Cover the back door, cover the front door, officer safety reasons. Then because of the hateful rhetoric and the attacks on ICE officers, now we got to send a security team behind the arrest team. So what could have been done with one person in the safety and security jail, now we got 15, 16 people out there doing it.
No wonder they have to.
I know that causes stress in the community. So if we get these agreements in place, that means less agents on the street. More agents.
I see we got a lot of people that just joined in. So just want to say, if you're just joining in, go ahead, smash the like button, whichever platform you're joining in on. See, we got a lot of people on X. Can join the conversation if you go over to my Rumble. The link is in my bio there on X. You can click that link, head over to Rumble, join the conversation, get in the chat. Would love some super chats from you to support the independent work that we're doing here at Straight Talk. We just recently released a video through independent investigation and through independent journalistic work talking about alleged fraud in St. Louis. And all the production you see here, all the equipment is all self-funded. So go ahead, throw a super chat, throw a gift, anything, subs, whatever platform you're on, however you can do it. Would appreciate any support. Also, just throw in some comments. Let me know where you're joining from. Want to see where everyone's joining in from today. We're going to be checking out. President Trump has a big announcement coming up in about 40 minutes. And so we just wanted to hop on before that, have some conversation, talk, have a little dialogue. Would love and definitely open to, conversations with the chat. I was doing that earlier on TikTok Live. And so, whatever you want to talk about, I'm game for. We were watching the Tom Homan briefing here because I had not yet seen that. I've only seen clips and just heard a lot about it and how he is in Minneapolis. Obviously, there's a lot of rumors around Greg Bavino, the special commander of the Border Patrol. People are saying that he was removed, which is fake news. He was not removed. There's a lot of rumors flying around this, around Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, all these people, right? And there's, my personal opinion on this whole situation in Minneapolis is that it's for show. The establishment, the establishment GOP, they want to make it look like they are doing more deportations than they actually are, right? They're trying to do this show of force, and it's kind of firing back on them because you have all these Democrat mayors and people that are really pushing back, and then they can amplify it in the media, which is what we thought would happen. And that's why I know this is a show and it's all political theater, because they can do all these things without the show, without the, pony show, whatever you want to call it. They've done plenty of arrests. They even just executed an arrest the other day in Minneapolis where they showed up to the individual's house at 4 a.m., arrested him. No protesters showed up. No violence happened in the streets. And that's not what they want, though. They want to send in these agents, these Border Patrol agents, these ICE agents into these cities, stir up confrontation, because this is what the Uniparty wants. They want the Civil War. They want us at each other's necks, right? And we're just trying to wake people up here, right? Not getting woke. We're trying to get people awake and see what's in front of them, that this is all a political theater, that There's puppet masters. I don't think every single person in Congress is in this camp. However, it seems that when someone goes to Congress, more often than not, they tend to end up in this camp too. So lots going on today. We're just listening to Tom Homan. We're going to be checking out President Trump's big announcement later. So we'll see what that is. I been trying to move my desk around to get it situated the right way that I want it. Oh, for the stream, this desk is so it's like one of those it's one of these standing, moving up and down desks. So pretty heavy. Once I get in a place, I got to kind of keep it there. Can't move it too much. But let's get back to checking out what Tom Homan is saying here in his press conference in Minneapolis. And then we will get the stream going at the White House as soon as it's up. We'll be tuning into that so that we don't miss a moment with the president. Let's check this out, though. Let's keep watching. Let me know in the chat what you think. Want to hear from you. Let me know where you're joining from. Let's watch this.
Jail.
There we go.
With less agents in the street. This is common sense cooperation that allows us to draw down on the number of people we have here. Yes, I said it. Draw down the number of people here. Because we have the efficiency and safety of the jails and the prison. Matter of fact, I have staff from CBP and from ICE working on a draw down plan. What does that look like based on the cooperation? What does that look like based on how many targets we have left to find? In my meetings with Governor Walz, A.G. Ellison, and Mayor Frey, as well as state and local law enforcement, again, I appreciate they all acknowledge that we do have federal immigration laws in this country that have been passed by Congress, and that ICE is, in fact, a legitimate law enforcement agency charged with enforcing those laws. We're not making this up, folks. ICE is enforcing laws enacted by Congress. They're a federal statute. That said, I'm not here because the federal government has carried this mission out perfectly. First thing I said to senior staff when I walked in here is what I told you earlier. I didn't come here looking for photo ops or headlines. I come here looking for solutions. I do not want to hear that everything that's been done here has been perfect. Nothing's ever perfect, and anything can be improved on. And what we've been working on is making this operation safer, more efficient, by the book. The mission is going to improve because of the changes we're making internally. No agency or organization is perfect. President Trump and I, along with others in the administration, have recognized that certain improvements could and should be made. That's exactly what I'm doing here. As such, in meetings I've had with federal law enforcement managers, including ICE and CBP and other federal partners, as well as state and local officials, I have conveyed the president's expectations with regard to federal immigration enforcement efforts. We will conduct targeted enforcement operations. Targeted. What we've done for decades. When we hit the streets, we know exactly who we're looking for. Good idea where we may find them. You have a criminal history. You have their immigration history. A lot of information about this person that we get from numerous databases out there. Targeted, strategic enforcement operations. That's traditionally been the case, and that's where we're going. That's what we're going to continue to do and improve upon that. With a prioritization on public safety threats. I want to be clear. I don't read a lot of social media. I don't read a lot of media. I don't believe half what I see. We are not surrendering the president's mission in immigration enforcement. Let's make that clear. Prioritization of criminal aliens doesn't mean that we forget about everybody else. That's just simply ridiculous. But when you have a criminal standing here and a non-criminal standing there, that criminal always should be targeted first because he's a significant concern to the safety and security of the community. By and large, for decades, ICE and CBP have carried out their duties with integrity, professionalism, and compassion. That remains the expectation under President Trump, and I will hold our agents and officers to that standard. I'm almost done, and Tom can be Tom. As far as the agitators, that said, I want to reiterate and make very clear. I want to make it clear, ICE and CBP officers are performing their duties in a challenging environment under tremendous circumstances, but they're trying to do it with professionalism. If they don't, they'll be dealt with. Like any other federal agency, we have standards of conduct. They are sworn law enforcement officers working tirelessly to enforce our country's border security and immigration laws, protecting the interests of our country and preventing dangerous people from walking the streets of this nation when they're not supposed to be here to begin with. Men and women of ICE, I was a Border Patrol agent. I was an ICE agent. I was the first ICE director that came up through the ranks. I spent over 40 years doing this. These men and women that carry that badge and gun are American patriots. They put themselves on the line for this nation every day. But I want you to remember, they don't hang their badge. They don't hang their heart on a hook every day they come to work. They're mothers and fathers too. They're sons and daughters too. And if they've seen a fraction of the tragedies,
that's what the left needs to remember, right? That's what the left needs to remember, is that these are people too. Just like they want to try to humanize, right? Let me get this camera shot. Just like they want to humanize, not humanize, that's the right word, but I mean, overemphasize the humanization of Alex Pretty and what's the other lady's name? Good. Gosh, I already forgot her name. Renee Good, right? Yeah, Renee Good. And so you got Alex Pretty and Renee Good, and they want us to feel bad for them, have compassion for them, hold memorials for them, light candles for them, vigils, right? And yet they will attack viciously, throw ice blocks, ironic, right? No pun intended, ice blocks at ICE officers to injure them on purpose. They are trying to hurt them. They are trying to stop them in the course of their duties. And so the left needs to also remember the Border Patrol agents, the ICE agents, they're also human. And so just like you want the right to take you seriously around Renee Good and Alex Pretty, you need to take us seriously when we're talking about ICE agents and Border Patrol agents and police officers who you are viciously and brutally attacking. And then cry about it when you get someone like Alex Pretty, who's an armed citizen. And we've seen the video. Yes, the agent goes up and grabs the gun and he gets shot right after. I understand that. However, anyone who's going to be armed and then go into to create a confrontation, if you own a weapon and you've done conceal and carry classes, the whole idea is that you don't want to be in a confrontation, and so you need to be aware of your surroundings and try to de-escalate and try to not put yourself in situations where you have to pull that trigger. And Alex Pretty put himself in a situation with a firearm on his person where he's attacking law enforcement. If he did the same thing with Minneapolis police, I gotta imagine the outcome's the same. And so I love what Tom Homan is saying here about remembering that the ICE agents and the Border Patrol agents are humans. He's saying, just like me, just like he was. He was a Border Patrol agent. He was an ICE agent. He was the first ICE director that came up through the ranks, you heard him say. And so if anyone knows what it's like, Tom's our guy. So let's get back. Let's keep listening to what Tom's got to say. We got about 27 minutes until the White House is live. So we'll keep watching this. If you're just joining us, sorry, before I switch back, if you're just joining us, go ahead and like this stream. If you're watching on X, like the stream, like the broadcast, repost it on X as well on Rumble. Hit that share button, copy the link, and text it to 5 friends right now if you can. Text it to 5 friends, text it to a group chat. If you're on Kick, go ahead and copy that link, send it out to a couple of your friends as well. Repost it, post it on X, TikTok, wherever you want. And come join me in the conversation over on Rumble. You can find me at Straight Talk Isaiah. You can see right here, Straight Talk Isaiah. You can find me at Straight Talk Isaiah on Rumble. You can join the conversation. Got the live chat going right here from Rumble. So if you want to see your chat, got a shout out or anything you want to say, go ahead and head over to Rumble, start getting involved in the chat. If you're on X, the link's in my bio. You can come head over to Rumble and join us here. And if you would like to, we just started a new PayPal account for donations. If you'd like to donate, I'm pulling up the post right now. Let me pull this up so you can see, but if you want to support our work, we are independent journalists, independent broadcasters, all independent. And here we go. You can see this is the PayPal right here at Straight Talk Isaiah, paypal.me/Straight Talk Isaiah. You can donate there. Really appreciate that. You can also donate here on Rumble. Appreciate that as well. We get gifts through Rumble. We're very appreciative of that. And maybe you are the COO or someone from Rumble right now, or some crypto companies out and about on Rumble trying to give out money on people's streams. So if you're watching, go ahead, donate in the chat below. Appreciate that. But without any further ado, love that word, further ado, right? Let's go ahead and get back to Tom Homan here. Just want to share this tab instead. There we go. Let's keep watching. I'm going to pull up the White House stream over here while we're watching this and see what's going on.
They take a lot of damage home to every day. The things they've seen, especially on the border with border collisions. People drowning in the river. Women being raped by criminal cartels. Giving CPR to a baby that was thrown in the river by the cartels because border patrols came too close. So let's throw the baby in the river. That way the border patrol was concentrating on that so I can get away. These men and women see some terrible things. But I want you to remember, they're mothers and fathers too. Many of them are members of this community. God bless every one of them. The hostile rhetoric and dangerous threats and hate must stop. And we all agreed to that. All everybody met here to tell you, we got to stop the rhetoric, the hateful rhetoric that has caused an increase in assaults.
Absolutely.
That caused, because of that, have to send security teams out with arrest teams, which surge the city with additional resources because of the rhetoric, because of the threats, because of the assaults. Again, with the agreements we've achieved and following through the agreements, with the rhetoric dropping down, that allows us to pull more agents out. Once we feel the environment safer. I begged for the last 2 months on TV for the rhetoric to stop. I said in March, if the rhetoric didn't stop, there's going to be bloodshed.
What do you know?
I wish I wasn't right. I don't want to see anybody die. Not officers, not members of the community, and not the targets of our operations. For the people out there who don't like what ICE is doing, if you want certain laws reformed, then take it up with Congress. Again, ICE is making this up. They're enforcing laws enacted by Congress and signed by the president. The same laws have been on the books for the last 6 presidents I worked for. I started with President Reagan and ending with President Trump. Every administration, we enforce the same laws. If you don't like what ICE doing, instead of protesting this building, go protest Congress. Tell me what changes. If you have your First Amendment rights, I support that. You have the right to protest. I'm just asking to keep it peaceful. But threatening law enforcement officers,
not violent,
engaging in impeding and obstruction and assault is never okay. And there will be zero tolerance. You interfere, impede, assault ICE officers, you will be arrested. Like I said a bit earlier in my meetings with Governor Walter Nelson and Frey, as well as state and local law enforcement, I appreciate they acknowledge this, that public safety should be paramount. The chiefs I've talked to committed to responding to 911 calls when protesters turn violent, agents are in a dangerous situation, and there's assaults. They have committed to upholding public safety and responding to the needs, not to enforce immigration law, but to keep the peace. With that, I call upon those officials to stand shoulder to shoulder with us to tone down the dangerous rhetoric and condemn all unlawful action against law enforcement in the community. There are many ways your voice can be heard, express your feelings, and affect change in the country without crossing that line.
All right, just want to pause this because I just saw something interesting here that I think everyone's going to see. You can see my screen on X. Various pizzerias nearby the Pentagon, including 2 of the closest pizzerias, are reporting high traffic. This is right before President Trump's announcement. So, do we think that this is related, associated? I mean, I think we might see something here. I mean, we got Wise Guy Pizza, we got Extreme Pizza, District Pizza Palace, all of these pizza restaurants around. This is an account that I love following, Pentagon Pizza Report. Go give them a follow if you haven't. Penn Pizza Report, at Penn Pizza Report. And if you're just now kind of new to this, but whenever you see these Pentagon pizza places uptick in activity, typically that means something's about to happen. This is what happened right before the capture of dictator Nicolas Maduro, when we went in and used the discombobulator, as President Trump says, and discombobulated them and captured Nicolas Maduro. You know what I mean? So President Trump is set to announce in 20 minutes an announcement, and as of 3:14 Eastern time, that's 2:14 p.m. Central time, so less than an hour ago, this is what the pizza reports are looking like. Are there any newer updates? Let's go to their account and see. No, so this is the newest update. What do we got going on in the comments here? Tonight's the night for Iran, I'm guessing is what people say. Let's see. If the U.S. strikes Iran, there'll be no slow rollout. Yeah, so that's what people are. I mean, that's what I would expect people to be talking about in the comments around this situation, is that we are looking at a potential invasion of Iran or an attack on Iran. I don't know about an invasion. You know, I don't know if we're invading Iran, if we're just attacking. We've already attacked Iran before. Last year, I think, in 2025, we attacked Iran with those strikes on the nuclear sites. And now we're going to attack Iran in response to the attack from the Ayatollah on the protesters, right? And so I'm just not a big fan of this whole Man, I spilled water everywhere, guys, all over my keyboard and everything. It's not a big fan of this Iran war. I don't think that we need to go to war for Iran. I think it's really Israel who wants us to go to war for them to Iran, because Bibi has been saying for over 20 years, he's been saying the same thing, that, Iran is this close to nuclear weapons. We're this close, right? Maybe I'll pull up that clip here in a minute of Bibi, but there's a compilation of him over 20 years saying the exact same thing to the media, saying the exact same thing to Congress when he's testifying in front of them. And it's that Iran, they're going to have nukes soon. They're going to have nukes soon. And so we keep these forever wars going. It keeps funding the military and industrial complex. And then you've got the financial industrial complex too. And the financial industrial complex, they, the banks and things like that, they profit off of the military industrial complex, off of these wars, off of attacking and creating these forever wars. That's what the establishment wants, whether it's the left or the right. That's what the deep state wants, is to keep us in these forever wars so that we keep sending money overseas. We keep this idea of globalization, even though they talked about at the World Economic Forum how they are trying to get away from globalization. That's what this is. That's what these wars are from, because they've made us feel bad about someone that's on the other side of the country, right? And I don't know about you, but did you ever, and when you were growing up, did you ever have your mom say to you, you need to finish your food? What about those starving children in Africa? And you know what I'd say? I'd say, I don't know those children. Hey, I feel bad for them. Absolutely. My heart breaks for them, but that doesn't stop me, or that's not, it's not anything that is giving me a frame of reference for my day to day. I don't want to say I don't care. Obviously I care about people starving, and that's terrible, but really I don't care, because it has nothing to do with me. It's just something to make me feel guilty. And it's the same thing. That's what globalization does, is they're trying to make you feel guilty. They're making you feel guilty that the Muslims are trying to attack the Jewish people. And they're not just trying to attack Jewish people, trying to attack Christians. It's all around. Everyone's attacking everyone. It's no one person's fault. Everyone's got faults. Everyone fails. Everyone has good. Everyone has bad. And really the only answer is Jesus, because Christ is king. That's the truth. It's the absolute truth. Even though we live in this postmodern, meta-modern age, Christ is king is an absolute truth. Well, that's my monologue, I guess you could say my soapbox for a moment there. But getting back here to the Pentagon Pizza Report, this war in Iran, right? This forever war that they're trying to start in Iran. Again, if you're just joining us, go ahead and smash that like button. Leave a comment below. Let me know where you're joining from, because right now we're talking about this Pentagon Pizza Report up here. You can see on the screen. An hour ago, the pizza places all around the Pentagon started having an uptick in traffic. And in about 15 minutes, we're about to hear an announcement from President Trump from the Oval Office, which those are pretty important announcements usually. So I don't know if there's something going on right now as we speak. There could be something going on. And if so, maybe President Trump is going to be telling us what happened. I mean, here we go. This is Alan.
Get into the most kind man since Jesus. He just loved veterans. He just took care of people. He was so calm. He was so sweet. He was just angelic, and they just came over and tackled him and shot him, and it was all just in cold blood. And again, the fact that they've lied about this and done damage control, and he was so covered up the reality of it and politically photoshopped in the lie that he's in the signal chats going out to provocateur and going out to, like Axios said, get somebody, you get our people killed. I mean, he was high up in this. And reportedly just imagine all the videos we don't have of him attacking ICE. And the media tried to spin it, go, well, BBC, that's AI. And the family goes, no, that's him. And then more videos got released of other people. Nope, we were there. No, he runs around foaming at the mouth like all these people. Spitting in people's faces, kicking them, attacking them, screaming at them with a gun in his waistband. Spit on them and kicked up their car and kicked out the lights and all that. No. What had he just done down the street? We still haven't gotten the footage. You just think ICE just runs up the road real fast and starts pushing somebody down for no reason? You think they're just looking for trouble? They're not. They didn't arrest him when he physically attacked them before.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, well, that's mild, kicking the car and spitting in our face.
Exactly what we were just talking about, chat. We were just talking about that, about how that he's looking for trouble, right? He's not looking... You're approaching them, you're antagonizing them, you're not looking for a good situation here. So let's keep watching what Alex is saying because I'm super interested.
You know, kill you and all.
Let's get live with him.
He got killed. He's got the gun. Stuff falls out, bounces on the ground. One pulls out his gun from the back. Preddy's gun. Says gun. They all get scared. They all run back, shoot him. Oh, yeah. That happens when you jump in the middle of something like that. That's why it's a justifiable shooting. Doesn't mean in the term justifiable in common parlance means it's good. It just means they legitimately thought they were in threat. There was confusion. There was a gun. And in the frenzy of this guy injecting himself into a dangerous law enforcement operation, that happened. It'd be like if you drove up to some factory that, say, makes tires, and you're crazy, and you run past the security guard and bust through the door and run into the factory, and they've got these big machines, you know, putting steel belt into the rubber, and you jump on the conveyor belt and it cuts you in pieces. You shouldn't have broken into the factory and jumped on the conveyor belt.
Oh my gosh.
Is there liability for Michelin? No.
Alex is hilarious, man.
And that's basically what you did. You like ran out in front of an 18-wheeler. Outnumbered ICE out there arresting criminals, people with huge rap sheets, bottles and rocks being thrown, people screaming, blowing whistles. And day after day, you're kicking their cars and spitting in their faces. You got your gun, screaming at them. And then you did something the day you got killed that made them pissed to come after you. They didn't just come running down the street at him because they just didn't like how he looked, because he was this angelic nurse. So let's go to this breakdown of the media worshiping him versus what he really did. Here it is.
Fuck you! Get the fuck out of here! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Man, this guy's a nice guy, right?
What is wrong with you? Every decision you made in your life is fucking wrong! Look at you! Pepper spray, bitch! Fucking assault me, motherfucker! Fucking assault me!
Wow.
Fuck you guys! You fucking trash!
What? What?
Witnesses who capture the truth.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Preddy interacting
Now
with
confirmed
federal
to be him.
immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and
You
killed
heard
him.
Alex there. It's confirmed.
Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy.
Caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of causing harm.
Pocahontas.
Alex carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there. I recognized his familiar stillness and signature calm composure.
His signature calm composure. He's literally foaming at the mouth when you watch the video from the side. He's got foam coming out of his mouth. Let me tell you, I've gotten really mad and gone crazy before and been in a few fights. I never foam at the mouth, and I'm a pretty crazy son of a bitch. I mean, we're talking foaming at the mouth, spit shooting everywhere, like a rabid pit bull. And he's a big guy.
Alex, so funny.
I mean, he's like a foot taller than these ICE agents. And it's just totally insane, ladies and gentlemen. And
Pocahontas, man. She's funny.
I mean, I sure as hell wouldn't go around running around through the streets attacking people. But he's signature composure. He's just such an angel. Such a little sweetie cake.
He's a sweetie cake, yeah. That's right,
Greg
Alex.
Gutfeld knocked it out of the park, except in one area last night when they turn on emotions and turn them off. They don't care. He mentions, there's been dozens of women killed by illegals. Most of the time the blue cities don't play.
If you're just joining in, I see we got a lot of people joining in on X. Just joining in. Thanks for joining. Isaiah Asher here. Obviously, you can tell that, but we got our weekly show we do every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time on Rumble. You can join there right now. President Trump set to make a big announcement from the Oval Office here in about 5 minutes. And we've been keeping a pulse on everything. That's why we're watching the InfoWars Alex Jones live stream right here, because moments ago, we found the Pizza Pentagon report, which if you don't follow them, go give them a follow on X. The Pizza Pentagon report uncovered that in the last hour, there has been a huge uptick in activity around at pizza places around the Pentagon. And just a great example of the last time this happened was when we went in and captured it. And as President Trump says, we discombobulated the Venezuelans to capture Nicolas Maduro. So I have a hunch, and it seems that Alex Jones here, the live stream that he just started today, says countdown to war with Iran. And that's what everyone in the comments of the Pentagon Pizza reports is saying, is that it's a potential war with Iran, or an invasion of Iran, or a strike on Iran. Something with Iran is potentially developing, potentially happening right now as we speak. And so we're waiting for the White House live stream. It is not up yet. We're waiting for the live stream because President Trump is going to be addressing the nation here from the Oval Office in moments from now. Until then, let's check out this stream from Alex Jones again, see what he's got to say. I'm going to step away for a moment here.
Meetings on Zoom, he calls the
the
other workers comrades. If you're black or Hispanic and you commit a murder, you're out the next day with no bond. If you're not white. If you're white and you defend yourself in your house, your car, you're going to prison. You want some examples? There's a lot of them that are known. Off-duty sergeant, highly decorated, doing Lyft in his spare time to feed his family from Fort Hood. They block his car. They surround it and say, get out, and point an AK-47 at him. And the sergeant kills him. Totally justifiable shoot. Life in prison. Governor, or it was 40 years or something. Governor had to do this whole pardon process because you don't just have the governors in Texas where they can just pardon. He has to go through a commission. And they got him out after a couple of years. But it's just unbelievable. And then I've got all these news videos of Democrats saying we're going to kill you. And now they're going to bring human shields starting in this Friday, where they've got the public schools involved from elementary up. And they're going to send them out day and night to attack ICE with little kids with them. I mean, child endangerment. But the police aren't going to do anything. Hell, most of them are in on it there. We'll bring country to a halt. Far-left NGO, who's an embedded communist, prepares to mobilize children as ICE out protesters. Wow. You're going to bring all those little kids around mobs of crazed pedos and scum and you name it, saying the F word so fast, it's like just F, 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 kill you, Nazis, come, F, 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 F. To attack hotels, school buses. Oh, there's ICE over here. Bring the kids. Oh, so it's not going to be Miss Good this time, driving up a blocked road and driving in front of the ICE and ramming them with the car. No, they're going to have little kids out there. And the media will say it's a good thing. That is how sick. It's time for Minnesota to secede. We need the blue states to secede. Where did I hear that, Ventura? Oh, the Podesta plan. Everything is proceeding as they said they would do. They don't have warrants. They're Nazis. They're not officers. I'm a Navy SEAL. I'm a fighter. I think you should all be made to take the vaccine. What did he get? He changed, man. He went from okay to bad. Bad. Now, this new product is incredible. It's from our sponsor, Bigley, at thealexjonestore.com. Optimal Human. You love the green powder super nutrient, the very best out there. Well, this is Optimal.
The old Alex Jones music. We got a guest here joining us, waking up from her nap. We got Ivy. Want to say hi to the people, Ivy? Say hi. Just woke up from a nap. Say hi, Ivy. Can you wave? Yeah, wave. There you go. Yeah, wave. Good job. We're about to watch President Trump. He's about to address the nation, baby little girl. Let's see here. Let's refresh it. Nothing yet. Stream's still not up. Let's see what Caroline Leavitt's got to say. The schedule says it's at 3:30. We'll check the White House. Let's check the White House X account as well. Nothing so far. Okay, so we're still on it. Still on time. We're not running behind yet. They are just running behind in the Oval Office, it looks like. Maybe there is something going on. Maybe there's an operation going on right now. Be very interested to see what President Trump has to say here in a few moments. As we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and let's get back to Alex Jones here. Yeah. He's promoting his superfoods. Yeah, what do you got? Ice? That's say ice. Say ice. Ice. So funny.
Politics. These products are incredible. Get our Ultra Vaseline Blue. It is the best in the market. Our Shilajit is the best. Our Irish sea moss is the best. Our turmeric is the strongest. Ultimate turmeric. The Alex Jones. Door.com. You are missing out. You don't get it. I want to thank those that have supported. I want to challenge those that haven't. What are you waiting for?
AlexJonesTour.com.
Just what I needed for my morning jog.
An AI video. These are hilarious.
13 hours a day. Mind Fuel keeps me on my toes and in the action.
Try this energy shot.
Wow, these AI videos are hilarious.
Power your mind and body today.
These AI videos, these ads are hilarious.
Into the fourth turning.
I mean, the AI ads have gotten out of control now. They're everywhere on Rumble, on YouTube, TikTok, everywhere you go, it's an AI ad. So super funny to see that he's got those AI ads. Man, the White House is, makes sense. They're always running behind, trying to keep up with the president. It's not like the last term where they're trying to keep the president up with them, right? Trying to keep him. Yeah. What is it? Oh, you got a little thread. You can. Look at that. Got it for you, baby girl. Let's hear it for Ivy in the chat. Little baby Ivy, super cute. If you're just joining in and you want to support the stream, go ahead and throw a super chat in Rumble. You can also head over to my X account. There is a there is a PayPal link. If you want to support it, you can paypal.me. Straight Talk Isaiah. That's Straight Talk Isaiah. STRAIGHT TALKISAIAH. You can make a donation there to support the production. You can also support any independent journalism activities that we do. We just released a video a couple weeks ago. If you are just joining in, you haven't seen it yet. A couple weeks ago, we released this video investigating alleged fraud in St. Louis. Has right now over 39,000 views on X. Go ahead, watch it. Let me know what you think of the video. Also have a Google Drive of evidence that we've collected. This is not everything that we have, but this is everything in this video. We're working on a part 2 right now. We're working with some important folks as well to further the investigation. So thanks for everyone's support. If you're watching on X, If you're watching on X, go ahead and repost this broadcast, like it, share it with someone. President Trump should be addressing the nation any moment. Any moment we should be hearing from him. And I'm curious to see what we're going to hear. Do we have a war in Iran starting? We'll find out. Let's check back in with Alex. Good old Alex Jones, see what he's saying.
For folks that don't know anatomy, or for women out there, when you're like 10 or 11 or whatever, you're a boy, you start going to puberty, you don't, the gonads are up inside you, almost like ovaries, until you go into puberty, and then the testicles drop. So just want you to know what that means in biological parlance, that the Trump administration's testicles are dropping. I'm not trying to be crude. That's just the best way to describe it.
It's hilarious.
Which is good. Now let's put that testosterone into action. It looks like Tulsi Gabbard's the one that's got it. Good. She's a real star up there of action. No one's acting on what she's done until now. So they are so scared. But let's go back to a video, and we'll try to delay this for the stations, of Alex Preddy, again, flipping out, spitting on them, throwing things at them, kicking the back of the ICE vehicle in. This is their little angel cake that they say is the most Christ-like person ever known. Here it is.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Preddy interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology...
And that's enough. It's since the family's out, it's him. There's all these other angles. It's him. And immediately, yesterday, the left said, it's AI, it's not real. Now, there's 3 different camera angles of it. There's all the witnesses. And he said in other confrontations, he got a rib broken with him. So who knows how many there were. I mean, this guy's like Frankenstein, just stumbling around the village.
It's like that one guy who would storm the churches.
Well, he ain't anymore. So here's a Gutfeld. And
William Kelly, I think his name was.
Like, oh, we have 50, 60 women killed by illegals. That's the list the media has of famous cases. And the rapes are off the chart. And that's just what we know of. I remember the Democrats manipulate the statistics and say most of these attacks are whites when they're not. Anytime you go see a mugshot, white. I mean, look at this. South Carolina woman Dana Kinlaw ambushed. South Carolina woman Dana Kinlaw ambushed at Puppy by, killed by 2 black men and a black woman. I guarantee you they filed it in when you go look at it as 3 Caucasians killed her. Just how it works. Just how it's done. Guaranteed you look it up, I bet. And at initial booking, it'll say that because they get paid by the feds and crime statistics all over the country. When they go to prison, then they'll be listed as black. But that's 99% of the time. All crimes listed as white. Look it up for yourself. Just think of the level of the fraud, folks. Of course they're stealing elections too. Of course the government's stealing money. Of course the Democrats, everything they do is fraud. Everything they do is lies. That's the default. Here's a Gutfeld.
Nothing you said matters. Every single
Welcome
thing,
back, Greg.
No, everything you said does not matter. Because it doesn't. Because everything you mentioned are the consequences of the. Oh, you go ahead and scoff. How did we get here? Pull back. How did we get here? An open border that let millions in, and you guys didn't give two
Alex
F's
Preddy
about. Okay,
snuck right through that border.
All right. We had dozens of deaths where you didn't say shit. Jocelyn Nungary, Laken Riley, Rachel Morin, Molly Tibbetts. I'm going to just do it because this is just, I can't believe that we're still talking about this stuff. Here's 3 pages of women who have been murdered by illegal aliens in the last 7 or 8 years. The 7 or 8 years that we have been here talking about this and mocked over it. When we showed the embassy, showed the border being overrun and people laughed at us. And now you're here. It's like you're the maid trying to clean up a mess and somebody there is staring at you going, oh, you got to clean it up better. No, you made the mess. This is the Democrat Party's mess that we're trying to clean up. And you're saying, wow, these ICE agents are using terrible language. We don't care. I'm bored by this. I'm absolutely bored by this. I'm bored by the Nazi stuff. I'm bored by the concerned people in the media. They were not concerned when innocent women were raped and murdered. They didn't care about the 50 who died when they were incarcerated under Obama. They didn't care about the 27 or 30 that were shot under Obama. But now they care now. You deserve no attention on this. You deserve no credibility on this. It's actually comical because here's my feeling. It seems like you're ready for another one. You had good, that went for a couple of weeks. You had this guy, went for a week or so. You're going to need a third one. This is what this is about, because this is what creates the motivation for this drama that could have been prevented if you guys just listened to the sensible people. Why is it that the cities that aren't sanctuary aren't having any violence? Why is it that the rate of violence in what's the name of the city? Minneapolis is 5 to 7 times higher than cities that are 3 or 4 times larger? Why is that? You guys are always feigning this performative ignorance since you don't understand things. You never explain your own ignorance. Why is there so much violence in Minneapolis and not in Texas? Well, see, there are different people. There are people who, when they hear an awful crime, when Molly Tibbetts is murdered, they think of their wife, they think of their kids, they think of their sister, they think of their mother. What do Democrats think about? There's a step before they even think about their family. They think, how does it affect my public persona? How does it affect my potential politically? How do I deal with this so that I get instant gratification and empathy? We don't think like that. We don't care. You can call me a monster that's saying all these people are getting deported. I don't care. I don't care about any of this performance anymore, Jessica. It's done. And you know what? Neither does Trump. People are voted for the law. They want the law. If you want to cry about murders and rapists, do it on your own time.
It's in the tens of thousands a year. They say 6,000. But the media uses like this list of 60 names we all know and we've heard about it, and they show these women. No, it's off the chart. So, search warrant revealed DNI Tulsi Gabbard and FBI Deputy Director Andrew Bailey, who is the real deal, on the ground in Fulton County. I mean, wow. Absolutely amazing. And then you've got Fulton County election officials. This is a month ago. Now it's 375,000. Admits that 315,000 votes weren't signed by poll workers. And it goes on. And guess what? They got caught pulling hundreds of thousands of Trump votes out that were legitimate. And what happens when you do that in Fulton County? Well, you all get indicted, like all these people, and sued. Giuliani, Trump, all the rest of them. That's what happens. And now, you're evil, you're bad. You shouldn't be asking questions. You shouldn't. We have the Fulton County Commissioner, Mo Ivory. She's so upset. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, here's a Fox News report on the raids.
Going inside of the election facility.
Oh, no.
Our photographer was able to go inside. He was let inside and allowed to be up and close. As you can see, this is interesting because one of the questions we did ask Larry was if agents were restricting his access or asking him to back up at all. And he said that so far they've been allowing reporters to get up close to the situation.
Outside if you want to take a...
Yeah. Okay, so now agents are asking them to back up.
Actually, you shouldn't even be in this area, but...
Hey, you know what? I don't have a key, so there you go.
Okay.
Okay, so agents are asking them to back up, saying our crew should not be in this area. So this is something we're going to continue to monitor.
All right, so that's yesterday in the middle of the day. Then Tulsi Gabbard and the deputy...
We sent our crew into a restricted area. Our bad.
And the left is so scared. And the media is trying to spin it. Oh, look, they asked reporters to step back. Well, it's a crime scene. It's the Democrats that said there was a water leak that wasn't real and blocked the windows out all over the country while they stole the election. So you had extreme transparency compared to that. So let's go to 2 different clips from Mo Ivory, the Fulton County Commissioner that's over all this, who does not look too pleased. Talk about hand in the cookie jar. Or Sylvester with Tweety Bird, feathers in his mouth. When Granny's asking, where's Tweety Bird? Here it is.
Hi, everybody. Listen, I know you're watching the news. You're seeing a lot of stuff about this FBI raid at the Fulton County elections and registrations. I'm on the inside right now. So I just want you to be real discerning about all that you're hearing from people who are on the outside of what's going on. I'm going to give you the truth about what's happening. So they served a warrant, the FBI, this is Trump, serving a warrant to go pick up the 2020 ballots, which are in a secure location inside of here, 700 boxes. The first warrant that they gave was incorrect legally, they didn't follow the right procedure. They went back and they fixed it. And they came back and now they are actually collecting the boxes. They are in the chain of command in Fulton County is that once they are archived, they become the possession of the clerk of Superior Court, which is Shay Alexander. She is here and she is with them inventorying everything that they're taking. We, the commissioners, the chairman, the county attorney, are trying to figure out a legal plan as to maybe an injunction, a motion to quash. We don't know yet. We're trying to figure it out. We're getting all kinds of legal advice to stop this because once they have the ballots, how do we then turn around and do something different when they've already got their hands on it? So this is an attempt to take your vote away. This is all about November 2026, about the primary on May 19th and then the November election. He does not want the midterm elections to take away his power. So he's trying to create chaos. So this is what he does. Chaos in Minnesota, chaos in Fulton County. We are a target. Protect your vote at all costs. I'm telling you, everybody always says your life depends on it. Oh, your life does depend on it this time. They are in there collecting 700 boxes of ballots right now. We are obviously concerned about once the ballots leave here, what will happen to the ballots, and our lawyers are going to be working on that. They are working on that as we speak right now. Let me just speak
they're concerned with that, huh?
What this is really all about. This is a scare tactic. This is something that we have seen done before. This is to instill fear and chaos, something that our officials at the national level are doing on a daily basis. And this is not a surprise for us here in Fulton County. This is meant to make people afraid to go to the polls because midterm elections are going to be so crucial to course correcting what is going on in our country. So instead of taking care of people who are dying in the streets of Minnesota, they are here in Fulton County trying to get ballots from 2020 that have been in storage for now 6 years from when it was found that there was no problems with the 2020 election.
Wow, you talk about world-class gaslighting and deception and spin.
Yep.
I mean, if she was a basketball player at that, you compared it to Michael Jordan. Not a basketball, but of lying. They never let anybody look at it. They blocked all the lawsuits. They had all these civil and criminal trials where no evidence could be shown where they said they were guilty. Mike Lindell's coming up next hour. He can tell you all about it. Judge found him guilty, and now he's having show trials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's Tulsi Gabbard on the scene. They weren't getting around in front of the press, though. They mean business, folks. And the fraud in Georgia is the most blatant we know of. But it's the same formula. Shipping in ballots only signed for Biden. Putting out in Republican precincts ballots that weren't long enough so they didn't get counted. Kicking out hundreds of thousands of ballots that were for Trump that were certified signatures. Turning the machine scanners off to say that fraudulent ballots were okay. The signatures didn't match. Pulling 300,000+ ballots, they can't explain it, are 99% Trump. It gets up over 500,000 with what I know, and I'm told it's way worse. So he probably won Georgia by 1 million. So, and again, he lost by less than 20,000. Same thing Arizona, same thing Michigan, same thing Pennsylvania. And you had postal workers saying, I pulled up at this dock, I sat there 6 hours, I saw all these other trucks, I went and talked to them. They said, yeah, we're delivering ballots. He thought, I'm a postal inspector, I'm going to go ahead and look in these, and they were all for Biden.
If you're just joining us right now, we're just watching Alex Jones's coverage. He is saying that there's a war inevitable in Iran right now, and we are monitoring the situation because President Trump is about to go live. As you can see here from our ticker, President Trump is expected to make an announcement. He's supposed to be live already, about 18 minutes late, and we saw earlier, hopefully I still have it right here, but earlier we were looking at the Pentagon pizza report, and share my screen here. With the Pentagon pizza report, this was the report around 2:14 with pizza deliveries skyrocketing. And typically what that means is there's some type of activity, some type of strike, some type of military activity that's taking place or about to take place. And we saw this with Nicolas Maduro before his capture, before we went in and used the discombobulator, as President Trump says, right? Before we went in and used the discombobulator, the reports from the Pentagon pizza tracker, whatever this account's called, right? It was seeing the same upticks, and it's other ones as well. That's why this whole account exists, because there's a correlation between the upticks in pizza deliveries and military strikes from the U.S. So interested to see what's coming from today. You thirsty? Okay, we'll get you some water here. We'll go back right now, check out what Alex Jones is saying, and get Ivy some water here. Let me get this pulled back up. There we go. Let's get you some water, Ivy.
But these are the most obvious ones where it's clear that it's the same. This one's got the little tail on the side.
And so what happened? So do you know the numbers of these total batches?
I don't remember what the totals were when the batches. I don't think they weren't disparate. They were fairly close. But the simple fact that they occurred.
So if you see that little bubble right there, this is one image. Here's another image.
Exactly
the exact same. And the batch number? Was it 5162?
Also, scanner 5162.
Okay, scanner.
Batch number 235, image number 92, matches the same scanner 5162, batch 234, image 33.
So there you have it. Duplicate ballots. The entire batch is scanned several times.
And they've only checked 3 counties in depth where Trump's had some success getting in. And every one, it's over 240,000 good signature, real Trump voters. They just pulled them. The 375,000, it's an old number, 315, that they can't say why they didn't get counted. They're almost all Trump. Then you've got them turning the machine scanners down so that they would say that false signatures were real. And then you got them all blacking the windows out, claiming a water main broke in Fulton County. And then on video running the same stacks over and over again while they're looking over their shoulders because they're told, cover up the windows so the people can't see in the press. And they thought they'd control things, and who cares about the security cameras? And then people are like, God, this is damning. Well, just have a rig court case, say Giuliani lied about these people, get him a $78 million judgment, and the judge just finds him guilty, defaulted. And they say, look, Giuliani's guilty. A jury said so. Yeah, after the judge said he's guilty, defaulted, I say he's guilty, find him guilty. Same in my Sandy Hook cases. Mike Lindell 2 months ago, federal judge. And it's a big deal, folks. I keep repeating it. Said, out of hand, I default you. You show no evidence you can hack a machine. They're unhackable. It's like saying a fish can't swim in the ocean. And, of course, they're all wireless with cell phones embedded in them, and they're plugged into the damn wall, the internet. And then you have the Smartmatic saying, actually, in 2020 and 2022 and 2024, we were updating machines up to Election Day and during it, wirelessly. They're giving them updates wirelessly, but they're not connected to the internet. That'd be like saying, my cell phone cannot be connected to the internet. It's like judge rules. Mike Lindell, you're guilty. Cell phones cannot connect to the internet. That's ridiculous. And no one can call it either.
We're back with some water for Ivy.
I mean, it's just the magnitude of the fraud. And you heard the county officials in Fulton County, Georgia, going, it was already found. We did a perfect job because no one was allowed to investigate your ass. And now, she may be a black lady, but she looked as white as a sheet, didn't she? You saw the blood draining out of her face. All right, we're going to break. I have told the folks at Bigley, I said, I want to have the widest selection of combat daggers, trench knives, folding knives, you name it, that are high-quality brands that you buy in bulk that are very competitively priced, and then support the broadcast because I love knives. I know you love knives. They have finally gotten a whole bunch of the knives that were sold out back in, and they've gotten a bunch of new, really nice flip knives that I went out and told them what brands I liked, what was going on, and they were able to get it. And so a bunch of the knives that sold out a few months ago, they're back in, and then these bad boys right here. I mean, these are absolutely amazing. Flip really easy, then locks for you. This is Forest Green, murdered out. It's got my little signature on it, so just a little piece of history. This is a great knife. This knife sells in stores for $75 all day long. We're selling it for 40-something and even bigger discounts, up to 50% off right now. Some of these knives are as low as $20 a piece. It's a great memento. It's a great gift for your friends and family, and it funds the operation. Go there now. We've got also the murdered out black, and I love how it's that Kydex, and it's got that real fine engraving on it. So it gives you that great feeling, that great.
He's just promoting some stuff there with his store. Just had to get Ivy some water. Say hi to everyone, Ivy. Say hi. Yep, wave. There you go. If you're joining us just now, I see we got a lot of people that just joined over on X. If you're just joining us, we are waiting for President Trump, who was supposed to be live 25 minutes ago, running late. Are you tired? 25 minutes ago, he's supposed to be live. We're monitoring the situation because the Pentagon Pizza Tracker is putting pizza deliveries at the Pentagon higher than normal. We can see here. So, Wise Guy Pizza, Extreme Pizza, District Pizza Palace, Papa John's, good old Papa John's, right? Got these upticks in activity right before 3 p.m. That's live at 3 p.m. right there, right? And so right before President Trump is set to make an announcement from the Oval Office, we have this uptick in activity at the Pentagon. And we have Alex Jones, who we've been watching here. He says on his title of his live stream that we've been watching, Countdown to War with Iran. And in the comments here of this pizza report tracker, this pizza tracker, right? That's exactly what people are saying, is that tonight's the night. It's going to be happening. It's Iran. So, right, there we go. Look at that. So I don't know if that's the case. We're just here. We're just speculating. However, to see the uptick in activity around the Pentagon from the pizza report, which again, if you're just joining, we talked earlier about how one of the last times that happened was with Nicolas Maduro's capture. And so we're just we're monitoring the live stream channel right now from the White House. Nothing's up yet. I don't know if they're carrying, I'm curious, are they carrying out an operation right now? Are they going to carry an operation out? What's the situation? We don't know. And hopefully President Trump can provide some answers for us with his address to the nation. Right, Ivy? We want some answers. Say, we want some answers from the president, right? Yeah. And so hopefully we can hear from President Trump shortly. While we're waiting for that, I did want to remind you that if you haven't, and you're just joining the live stream, if you haven't yet, go head on over to my X profile and at Isaiah Asher. Go ahead on over to my X profile, click the follow button, click that follow button, but also go ahead and give a watch to our investigatory story that we did on alleged fraud in St. Louis that seems similar to the fraud that was taking place in Minneapolis, in Columbus, in the states of Washington and Oregon, what they're uncovering nationwide. Now they're finding, we saw Dr. Oz uncovering fraud in California. And so the fraud is rampant nationwide. And I live in Missouri here, outside of St. Louis, Missouri. And we just happened to find a home healthcare company that raised red flags. And when digging deeper, we found so much more. So you're going to want to watch this video. You're going to want to give me a follow because we're working on part 2 right now, because we've uncovered even more alleged fraud and connections between folks that are associated to the business location that we talk about in this video. So go ahead over my X profile at Isaiah Asher. Give me a follow there. You can also find me on Rumble at Straight Talk Isaiah, YouTube, TikTok. You can hear right here. You can see Rumble and YouTube at Straight Talk Isaiah. Instagram at, I think there's a typo on that one, but it's a Straight Talk. It's like this for Instagram, and TikTok. It's at Straight Talk Isaiah for all those platforms. Go follow me on Rumble and X. On X as well as at Isaiah Asher, but go follow me on Rumble at Straight Talk Isaiah, Instagram, and TikTok. Don't know how much longer we'll be on TikTok, because a video clip that I posted today from my radio interview with Rob Carter from the Rob Carter Show on Real Talk Radio 93.3 FM in St. Louis, it was flagged on TikTok for violating their community standards. I posted about that today. You can check in my timeline, because I talked about the election in New York City and what went on with, if you're not familiar, you can check out the O'Keefe Media Group, James O'Keefe, right, from Project Veritas. You can check out the O'Keefe Media Group's report. They did an undercover investigation. They sent in someone who claimed to be an illegal immigrant in New York City to go get registered to vote. And you can see for yourself, maybe I'll pull the video up since President Trump's taking his time, but you can see in the video, he tells them that he's an illegal. It's no problem. They get him registered. And he doesn't say vote for Mamdani, but he says vote for the guy with the M, right? That's who you want to vote for. That's the election fraud taking place in New York City, folks. So I see Alex Jones is back, and my daughter really wants to see our dog. So let me go ahead, throw it over here to Alex Jones's show while we are waiting for the White House to go live. Let's check this out. I'll be right back.
It's obvious that he's ready to fracture the whole country for his own folly, whatever he is doing. And
well, pulling federal funding, right?
Well, I think we should petition to get out of the United States and become if they don't want us, I'm sure Canada'd be happy to take us. And then all those Iowans, think of what a mess it'll be when they have to cross an international border to come up here fishing.
The Democrat Party in this country ceases to exist as a viable political party without taxpayer money. They find a way to swindle it, without the mass importation of foreign barbarians, and without election fraud. Without those three things, the Democrat Party becomes not a 50% party, a 20% party, 25. The party has to go away. So when you understand that, you understand why they fight so hard to keep foreign barbarians here. Their entire existence disappears without the mass importation of foreign barbarians who will be given taxpayer money in various ways and then will vote for Democrats in various ways. So ICE surges into Minneapolis, surges into Minnesota. They start scarfing up foreigners. What happens? Here's what happens. Elite communists, they want to cause disruptions. They want to cause all kinds of disorder out there. But they're, of course, not going to get their manicured fingers dirty. That's the elite communists. The street communists, it's their job to get their fingers dirty. Street communists are generally the true believers, almost always broken, miserable, pill-addicted criminals. Now, the bad part is, and it happened in Minnesota, fighting a war, fighting a revolution can be hazardous to your health. That woman died. She goes out, tries to run over a federal officer. That's going to get you killed about 99% of the time. Now she's gone. You communist street animals who watch the show and send in death threats, I'm coming for you and all that other stuff you say, that's whatever, that's fine. But you should understand that they don't care about you. That woman who was just sent out to die, that revolutionary, you know they'll send you tomorrow, and then your daughter the next day, and your son the next day after that, and the people who are breaking your mind and your soul as you consume it on social media and you read the New York Times, and none of those people will lose a minute of sleep when you die for their cause. I hope you know that.
Bovine Colostrum Plus, a really incredible new product that's flying off the shelves. What if one simple scoop a day could strengthen your body's natural defenses at every single stage of life? This is Bovine Colostrum Plus, nature's very first superfood, now in its purest, most potent form. For teens and kids, Colostrum Plus delivers 4,000 milligrams of immune-boosting IgG antibodies and 20 grams of
There's not a lot of digital presence. Their website's not working. What do you know? I don't know. Unreal. Wow. How about that video, folks, right? That is the video that I was talking about, that referencing that video and referencing how that man was trying to register this guy claiming to be an illegal immigrant. They were trying to get him registered. Not only were they registering him, they were telling them who he should vote for. Mamdani, the socialist, the Democrat socialist, the candidate that's part of the DSA. If you don't know what the DSA is, that's Democrat Socialists of America. Basically, communists, Marxists, want to destroy our country. And that's who this pastor is telling this alleged illegal immigrant to vote for. And that's why my video was taken down on TikTok. We all know TikTok is done for. It's been done for. And now that we've got this new deal and this U.S. deal, and now that Israel controls it through Larry Ellison, it's just become an Israeli intelligence spyware software. My personal opinion, just an opinion. And I'm not, no facts or anything here, just an opinion. But pretty interesting to see that video, and referencing that video is what got that TikTok video of mine taken down. But President Trump should be joining us soon for the announcement from the Oval Office. That's what we're waiting for. And while we wait, we are going to... Ivy, my daughter is messing with all my screens over here. Don't touch that. Hey, don't touch that. While we're waiting, we're going to go ahead back to Alex Jones here to see what he has to say. And my daughter is destroying my technology over here. Let's see what he's got to say. Iran plans live fire drills in Strait. Okay, so let's check this out. Okay.
I'm in tensions with the U.S. Yeah. That way they don't, oh, we're not attacking, we're shooting a drill. That way they can sink the ships, the Strait of Hormuz, as soon as this kicks off. So this is not what we voted for. This is not good. And I noticed that when I came out against striking Iran last year, the entire Israel lobby came down on me with 2 feet. We got shadow banned on X, which I don't even blame Elon. It's just the bureaucrats, and they can false flag you, and by that, do a bunch of flagging your account to knock it down. And I wasn't rabidly anti-Israel. I said Israel's got its own interests and stuff, but that's not with us, and I'm just sick of it. So I got to enjoy all the demonization and attacks that came along with that. But bigger than that, that's a microcosm That's what forced Charlie Kirk. The fact that his rallies, half the people there were upset with Israel, and he wasn't going to censor them. He was going to have Tucker Carlson and others come, and he was sending out text messages to the Israel First lobby that was threatening him and his donors, then fine. Because he had morals and was not anti-Israel, was pro-Israel in general, but not for regime change and not for Israel controlling this country. And so the criticisms of TPUSA and kind of their turn towards Israel since he was killed are all reasonable. And investigations into all that is all very reasonable. I just wouldn't go with a guy, named Mitch Snow, a known convicted con man, making up ridiculous crap that was designed to sabotage any real investigation. And I said that. And then I work for Israel. That's not true. I just tell you what I really believe. Like I saw this the other day, didn't shoot a video about other people did, they went viral. Candace is like, I'm here in Tennessee, and I've never seen ice stay on the trees when it's 30 degrees. It melts. And people are like, no, ice melts at 33 degrees. It freezes at 32. And I just commented and said, yeah, that's right. And people are like, you're a traitor. You work for Israel because you say ice melts at 33 degrees. I mean, I'm just like, it's like, okay, whatever she says then, okay? If the son of the Zodiac killer, that's what he says he is, next to me Santa Claus says that, okay? And I'm not trying to go off into her. It's just like, I just call stuff like I see it. And I was against attacking Iran. I'm even more against it now because we're being sucked into this. And Trump says it'll be a much bigger attack. And now I'm going to have the Israel lobby attack me. It's guaranteed. And don't worry, I'll have the anti-Israel people that are just see nothing but Israel everywhere. It's just like, all I do is try to report the facts as best I see it. And I don't have an agenda. People are like, why are you criticizing Candace? That's not popular. And I know it wasn't popular. I'm like, I think she's wrong. Where's the Egyptian plane stuff? She was going to release that, but she was proven wrong. Oh, I've got the proof. I'll release it. Yeah, don't hold your breath. It's not about being mean to her. It's about, we went and looked it up. It's not true. This guy about Fort Huachuca, not true. And so I just go, not true, report it. I don't think, what's this going to do? And I'm just using her as a case point example. Like, I don't get up here and go, what will be popular with Trump supporters? Well, I guess the majority want to hit Iran, so I'll do that. Plus, Israel won't attack me with their Israel lobby if I just stay out of the way and just don't talk about it. That's not how I think. So there's these constant listeners on X. I see them like thinking, oh, Jones did this because of this, or Jones did this because of that. No, I do what I believe is the most accurate, moral, facts-based thing. And I can give you examples all day long of this. Like, I didn't have a gold sponsor starting in about 2013. Our silver sponsor, actually, it's mainly silver. I knew it was speculative. I knew it was still an overall long-term good investment. But I've said I'm not going to promote silver and gold anymore. Gold was a little bit better investment, but still I want something really hot. And I didn't plug for 14 years. I guess I've been doing it now too, so I guess I didn't plug for about 13 years. 12 years. And all these sponsors and all these offers, everything. And I was like, no, it's not going to give people huge returns. And then 26, 27 months ago, I said, all right, who's the biggest, who's the best, who's the highest rated? Oh, I know Kirk Kelly. He used to write for World Net Daily. He's been on the Focus with the Family Board. He's a theologian and economist. He's got the highest ratings. He's got the best deal. I'll go with him. You don't get paid a fraction of the money. Again, it's like over and over again, I'm right. And I've turned down, in 13 years, $50 million. That's a low number. I mean, I'm being offered $4 or $5 million a month right now by gold companies and silver companies that are going to sell you collectibles. And they put out the lie that it's non-confiscatable when it's a collectible and all this made-up crap. And I don't care if you sell somebody a collectible for 10, 15% above what it's worth, because maybe someday it's worth more and it's pretty and you want it and cool. We sell collectible coins, limited editions that are twice what the silver costs. We say it. This is a fundraiser. This is a piece of art. This is to fund us. But as an investment, go to kpm.com/gold. And I'm not even doing a plug right now. My point is, you know there's almost no gold companies and silver companies like Kirk Elliott of any real size. All the others, from one degree to another, are effing people in the booty. And the offer started coming in about two and a half years ago because they knew the market was coming back. We'll give you $1 million a month. No. $2 million. No. $3 million. No. $4 million. No. And these come because people trust me. And there's enough people that listen. Most of mine, it's, on the gold and silver, super educated, but even people that are educated on one thing or another. If I got up here and I told people to go to these companies and do it, they would do it. I don't need that mojo in my life. So I don't think about right now, what will this do for me if I do this? Well, I'll get millions of dollars a month if I rip you off. I'm not doing it. And it's the same thing with all my politics, everything I do. I do what I believe is right, and it makes my life so simple. And your brain gets trained. Once you're not thinking about consequences, once you're not thinking about what this will do, what that'll do, they call it being fearless, but it's not even that. It's just you're on a mission. Look, when you're younger and you first get on a big highway and you're driving 80 miles an hour when you're 16, it's pretty scary. But a few years later,
I don't know why I was muted earlier.
Once you're 50, 60, you've done it so much, you're just totally relaxed because it's second nature.
Let me know if you
But that's fearlessness. Because you got paranoid on the highway, you'd probably have a wreck. It's good to still be aware. But you know what I mean? It's like I just get in the car and I drive 100 miles an hour down the road. I'm using that as an example, a metaphor. And I don't have time to sit there and think, well, what will this do? Well, what will that do? When I attack Todd Blanchard, Pam Bondi, I don't think, what will that do? And then I get the phone call, hey, come meet, let's be friends. No, thanks. See, I'm not the guy that goes to the meetings. I'm not the guy that goes and courts the power structure. I'm trying to build a new system that's open and free market and what's the term in computers? Open source, basically. And I'm just going to tell you how all this works. You can check it out and find out I'm right. You may have expertise I don't have. You teach me something.
Let me know if you guys can hear me.
I believe in showing people the magic trick.
There we go. Now you guys can hear me.
Believe in decentralizing the knowledge. Yes, if I wanted to, in my knowledge, how people work, I could be a globalist general. Oh, that'd be bad. But it doesn't make me feel good. So I knew when I saw Candace Owens say, yeah, water melts at 29 degrees. So why is there still ice outside? This isn't real ice. She was just tying into that thing about the fake snow that everybody gets obsessed with. It won't, quote, burn. Well, it doesn't burn, it melts. And she was just tagging into every schizophrenic market there is. And there is some particulate in snow and chemicals. And so there is some stuff that has chemicals in it. So it does act weird. But the point is that I knew early this morning, when I got up at 4 a.m. or whatever, I knew when I commented on her thing that her people would come and attack me. And they went, that's a typo. She means 40 degrees. How dare you attack her Israeli agent? And all I said was, hey, Candace, ice melts at 33 degrees. It freezes at 32, unless it's salt water. And so I said, hope that, no, I'm bad. And I understand that. I should have said, you're right. Ice melts at, 29 or whatever. It just goes on and on, people. And it just gives me a headache. So I guess what I need to do is just not focus on all the weird disinformation from
Zodiac Killer is using his mind control
because it's just a tar baby. If people can't figure that out, if they don't know that for themselves, if they don't want to understand that stuff, that's fine.
Alex is hilarious.
Yeah, I did another post where I was serious about the 32 degrees, but it didn't matter.
Hilarious.
It didn't matter. And so it's sad. And what made me even think of Candace to even look her up last night, I had it about a week, was I didn't tell McBreen what to make. He made that Planet of the Apes thing. And they had the scene where she's been lobotomized. Everybody thought that was like some secret message or something.
Get rid of Alex Jones's stream, and the stream is up now. We are beginning shortly here. If you're just joining in, this is what we've been waiting for. President Trump making an announcement here from Oval Office. Should be happening any moment now. Just waiting for him to come on. Let's see here. Starting here shortly, President Trump, if you're just joining us, we've been talking about President Trump's announcement that's upcoming here. Live stream started. I got it right in front of me. I'll throw right back to it as soon as we see something come up. But what we have been talking about is this potential for a war in Iran. If not a war, some large-scale invasion happening in Iran. And as we were talking about earlier, things are pointing to some type of military operation or a invasion, because we can... What are you doing, Ivy? You're silly. Because we can see from the Pizza Pentagon report account, which follows and tracks the pizza locations. Oh, here we go, President Trump.
Been a little busy day, right? We had a good morning, and now we're having a good evening, and we're going to a premiere in a little while. But there's nothing more important than what we're doing right now, in my opinion. Today, I'm signing a historic executive order to combat the scourge of addiction and substance abuse. Big deal in this country and probably in every country. We're calling it the Great American Recovery Initiative. I'm grateful to be joined by co-chairs of this sweeping new effort, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Senior Advisor to the White House Great American Recovery Initiative, Catherine Burgum. Thank you both very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Where's Bobby? Bobby. Hello, Bobby. Come here. I love Bobby. You're doing a great job, Catherine. All right? Do we think so? Who's doing a better job, him or your husband? Maybe the husband. He's doing a good job.
I'm just getting started, sir.
They're both doing very well, and now you're going to do better than both of them. Thanks as well to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Secretary Doug Burgum, Secretary Scott Turner, Secretary Doug Collins, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who's got some pretty good news, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty McCary, NIH Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. Oh, I've gotten good at that. You are, sir. Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz, who's doing a fantastic job, and Director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy, Sarah Carter. I also want to introduce a great friend of mine who happened to be here, and he's very much committed to this. He knows how important it is for our country. He's built a tremendous American company. It's called WeatherTech. I guess you've seen the ads. I've seen the ads. I think they're great ads, but more importantly, it's a great product. David McNeil. David, congratulations on what you've done. It's incredible.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Really great. And the president of WeatherTech, Ryan Granger. Ryan, congratulations. What a great job. They built an American company, and it's a thriving company, too, so with a great product.
It's great to be here in America.
Yeah. You know, when I was in the private sector, I'd always buy the floor mats, but now that I'm president, I no longer have to buy floor mats. But you made a great floor mat, and you still do, and lots of other things. Many of those with me today have personally known the heartache of a loved one taken by drug or alcohol addiction. I do, just like millions of American families. Every year we lose an estimated 300,000 people to drug and alcohol abuse, and the real number is probably much, much higher than that. Thankfully, drug overdose deaths plummeted by 21% in the last year. We're working very hard on it. We've closed the southern border, seized over 47 million fentanyl pills and 10,000 pounds of fentanyl powder. That's a record. And I have formally designated Dr. And I'll tell you what, we have a group of doctors, some of them behind me, who have just been incredible, and they've really wanted this, designated the drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And for some reason, they didn't want to do that until we came along, but they are indeed foreign terrorist organizations. With our action in the Gulf of America, that sounds so nice when I hear the Gulf of America. Drugs entering our country by sea are down 97%. So when you see the boats being hit, those boats kill on average 25,000 people a boat. So that's 25,000, I would assume mostly American lives, but lives are being saved. Now we're taking a bold action to help Americans struggling with all forms of addiction so they can get the help and the support that they need to free themselves from the horrible burden of dependency. The Great American Recovery Initiative will bring together federal, state, local, and private sector
Looks
resources.
like not a
to
war in
support
Iran, a war on
addiction,
drugs.
recovery, treatment, and prevention. And it will help mobilize the full resources and authority of the federal government to help stop this tremendous plague. And I'd now like to invite Secretary Kennedy to start, and then Catherine Burgum, and then I'll sign the order, which I just signed.
Okay.
And wanted to make sure the signature was good, took my time. And let me just see, pretty good, not pretty good. Let's give it a 10, okay? For Catherine. But I'd like Bobby to say a few words, and Catherine, thank you very much, everybody. Please.
Mr. President, thank you for your leadership, for signing an executive order that tells the truth about one of the greatest challenges that our country faces. Addiction is not a moral failure. It is a disease. It's chronic. It's treatable. And for too long, our nation has responded with fragmentation, with stigmatization, and silence instead of science, compassion, and coordination. Today, President Trump changes that. With the Great American Recovery Initiative, we finally bring the full strength of the federal government together across healthcare, law enforcement, housing, labor, faith communities, and the private sector to save lives, restore families, and rebuild communities that addiction has hollowed out. Nearly 50 million Americans suffer from substance use disorder. Many never receive treatment. Even more don't believe that help is possible. That is not because recovery doesn't work. It's because our systems have failed to reach the people where they are early enough, long enough, and with dignity. This initiative fixes that. We will align federal programs instead of letting them operate in silos. We will set clear, measurable goals and report honestly to the American people. We will use evidence-based care, modern science, and continuous support, just as we do for heart disease, diabetes, and other chronic illnesses. We will focus on prevention before addiction takes hold. We will intervene early. We will expand access to treatment that leads to real long-term recovery. And we will support re-entry because recovery does not end when treatment ends. It succeeds when people return to their families, their jobs, and their communities with purpose and with hope. As co-chair of this initiative alongside of Catherine Burgum, whose leadership and commitment strengthens this work, I pledge urgency, accountability, and honesty. Catherine and I share the experience of having been addicted and long-term recovery. But almost everybody in this room and almost everybody in our country has been touched by addiction. Steve Witkoff, who's here, had an extraordinary son, Andrew, who was a superstar boy, a straight A student, an athlete, and a wonderful leader, and lost that son to addiction. President Trump has talked about his own family's struggle with addiction. All of us are touched. If it touches these people, it can hurt every American. And President Trump has often talked about, with compassion, about the families who lose children to this disease. 100,000 children a year until recently. Now it's about 76,000. Those families are devastated forever. And the cost to our country, not only in dollars, but in just the malaise and the despair that it imposes, is incalculable. We are going to listen to states, localities, frontline providers, and tribal nations. We will partner with communities and faith-based organizations. We will work with employers, clinicians, and recovery leaders who know what works on the ground. President Trump has already acted decisively, securing the border against deadly drugs, signing the Halt Fentanyl Act, strengthening treatment programs, expanding access to naloxone, medication-assisted treatments, and investing billions in prevention and recovery. This executive order builds on that record and accelerates it. Recovery is not a side issue, it's an economic issue, a workforce issue, a family issue, a national security issue. When Americans recover, communities grow stronger. When families heal, children thrive. And when we confront addiction with courage instead of complacency, we reclaim the promise of our country. This initiative is about life, it's about responsibility, and it's about building a great American recovery together. With this executive order and with major announcements that I will announce next week, we are taking decisive action to make America healthy again. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby, and great job. And you're doing a fantastic job. He's doing a fantastic job. And I saw his wife yesterday, and she confirmed that he's doing a fantastic job. So she's already decided to know that. She's great. And Oz, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Catherine, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Your leadership today, relative to this announcement about the Great American Recovery, is a gift to all Americans who are suffering from the brain disease of addiction. And I also want to thank First Lady Melania Trump for her leadership during your first administration, and now the work she's doing championing youth and children, especially related to foster care, where early trauma and instability are often consequences of the disease of addiction.
Very true.
Addictions touch this administration in real and profound ways.
It's very hard.
President Trump, you've openly spoke about your brother Fred, who struggled with addiction, shaped your life and your understanding of this disease. And Susie Wiles carries the lived experience of her father, the late, great Pat Summerall, whose recovery journey became a source of hope for millions. Vice President Vance has shared his story of his mother's battle and recovery. And as Secretary Kennedy just said, he brings his own lived experience, proof that recovery is not theoretical, it is possible. These stories matter because they are not isolated. They reflect the reality of the over 190 million Americans, that's half our nation, who are impacted in some way by the disease of addiction.
Wow.
And I am one of them. I started drinking in high school, and I was a blackout drinker from the start. For 20 years, I struggled, relapsing constantly starting over, constantly trying to stay sober and failing. I reached a point where I truly did not believe there was one single reason for me to keep living, and I was suicidal at the end of my drinking.
Wow.
One day I was out walking alone. I didn't have faith. I wasn't religious, but something in me said I should ask for help. And out loud to no one, because it was just me, I said, I don't know if anyone is there, but I need help. And that was the day I became sober. 15 years later, I found myself somehow standing in front of people as First Lady of North Dakota, thanks to him. But I was asking people to share their stories openly about addiction so we could eliminate the shame and stigma, so more people would reach out for help and more lives could be saved. And today I'm standing here in this incredibly beautiful Oval Office. And if not for the grace of God, I would not be alive today with over 23 years in recovery.
We'll keep watching, but I just want you guys to know I just got a message on TikTok. We're live streaming on TikTok, and it said that we're being restricted because of themes of the messaging here. So
Here, my message is simple: never give up hope for recovery. Mr. President, I also want to thank you for allowing me to stand here with you today. I was in this building in 2017 when the administration announced the national response to the opioid crisis. And nearly a decade later, the crisis remains, and in many ways, it has grown worse. Not because we lack compassion, not because we lack effort, but because we never fully aligned our system with the truth. Addiction is not a moral failure. It is not a character flaw, and it's not simply a behavioral issue. Addiction is a lifelong, chronic, relapsing medical disease as real as diabetes, cancer, and heart disease. And when we fail to treat it as such, we don't treat the disease, and we pay mightily for the consequences. Emergency rooms, jails, foster care, overdose deaths, and broken families. The Great American Recovery changes that. This initiative represents a fundamental shift from reaction to prevention, from fragmentation to coordination, from stigma to science, from short-term fixes to long-term recovery. And for the first time, we're aligning federal leadership across health, justice, labor, housing, veterans, social services, the faith office, and education around one single shared truth. When addiction is treated early and correctly, people recover and families heal. Addiction is a generational disease, and if we don't treat it properly, it repeats from parent to child, from community to community. And when we treat it like a lifelong condition, the condition that it is, we stop that cycle. We save lives, we restore families, we rebuild communities, we return people to dignity, purpose, and productivity. Mr. President, thank you for seeing this moment clearly. With your leadership and the Great American Recovery Initiative, we're establishing a new framework and a new national response to the disease of addiction, including treatment and care that parallels other chronic diseases. With this framework and treatment, recovery is not the exception, it is the expectation. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. You know, I saw them riding horses in a video, and they said, "Who is that?" I was talking about her, not him. And they explained it. I said, "I'm going to hire him because anybody has somebody like you to be with." It's an amazing tribute, and it's a great couple, amazing couple. And she's very much a part of his big success. He was a fantastic success, as you know, having been one of the most successful business people. And I saw him campaigning, a great governor, two-term governor. He was did a fantastic job, North Dakota, and he's done a great job. And I'll tell you what, Catherine's a very big part of it. I see it. It's just really one of the fantastic couples. So I appreciate it. What a beautiful job you've just done. And I'm going to give this to you, and you can figure out what you're going to do with Bobby. You know, but let's have a good picture of the two of them and everyone else. And I'd like to ask Steve Whitcuff also to say a couple of words while we're finished, because he's a very special person who I knew very well, an incredible person. So if you don't mind, Steve, I'll ask you to do that in just a second. All right? Please, Bob. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you so much.
Steve, please.
The president is doing the same thing to me now that he did to me in 2017. Do you remember, Catherine?
Yeah, we were sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to tell the story about this. So I came to the opioid conference, and the president did not know I was coming because I was invited by the First Lady. And he leaned over, saw me in the aisle, and he looked at me and he said, "Steve," and then he realized why I was there, because I had lost my son, Andrew. And the president was an incredible friend when I lost him. I lived in his building at 502 Park Avenue. And I remember when him and the First Lady came, and I talked about this all the time. And so he took my hand, and he said to me, "Come on up to the stage and tell the world about your boy, Andrew." And of course, that was, something that was really meaningful to me, and I got through it. And I talk about it all the time. I talked about it on the campaign trail and so forth. He is a very special man. And he's begun and led the fight against opioid addiction and alcoholism. And Catherine, I feel like we sort of bonded from that day. And it's just my blessing to work for you, sir.
He's a special guy.
Wow, what a story. Praise the Lord.
He and a group of people, Jared helped and others helped. Steve, he's in the Middle East, and we're there.
Yes.
A couple of little flames, but they're very little by comparison, and they'll go out quickly. They're already going out. And he's now trying very hard to settle up with Russia and Ukraine, and I think a lot of progress is being made there. And I told that Russia's not doing any shooting for a period of time during this horrendously cold weather.
Because of you.
So we asked President Putin if they could stop the shooting for a week. They're being hit with proportionately the kind of cold that we're being hit. It's much colder in Ukraine to start off with, but it's really cold now. And he agreed to do that. We appreciated that very much. It's a nasty war. It's a nasty, nasty war.
Yeah.
Would anybody else have anything to say? I can say that I am extremely late, but that's okay. Don't worry about me. Would anyone else have anything to say? Doug, you're doing a fantastic job. We appreciate it. Marty, you are really something special. Everyone's talking about you every time. If I don't mention Marty, Bobby always mentions him. So we have a great team. Jay, great. Marty, great. You guys want to say something?
Thank you. Well, historically, with addiction, the entire society has always been reactionary. And that's been the story of healthcare. But at the FDA, we are looking into incredible cutting-edge therapeutics, and we are being proactive, giving them vouchers when we see something that's promising to get an approval as quick as weeks in an era of a 10 to 12-year approval time. And the ultimate therapeutic is community, houses of worship, addressing loneliness. And so that's part of the MAHA agenda, thanks to Bobby's. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Jay?
Mr. President, in 2018, you launched the HEAL initiative, helping to end addiction long-term at the NIH. It's paid fruit. It's yielded fruit. The ingenuity of small business has developed products that can deal with pain without opioids. The naloxone, which saves lives, that was the fruit of NIH. And for the kinds of investments that are your administration that you made starting from the first Trump term to now will continue to pay dividends. The kind of research that the NIH is doing will help turn the tide, make people's lives so much better, restore families. All of the addiction that we've seen, 80,000 deaths we saw, and the huge spike in addiction deaths during the first Biden term is going to be a thing of the past. And I'm so proud to be part of
And
this.
fellas, some great things happening, right?
Yeah.
Marty, it's really great things happening, I hear. And some pretty big announcements over a short period of time, right?
Yep. Moving drugs over the counter so you don't need a prescription.
You're right.
Naloxone, which treats opioid, is one of those drugs. And we're being proactive with synthetic 7-OH, a new opioid that's showing up. And we're working with the DOJ on addressing that because chemists are coming up with new opioids faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
That's great. No, I hear fantastic things.
Interesting.
Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Oz. You're doing a fantastic job. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, please. Thank you.
Everybody. Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press. People, guys. Thank you, guys.
I don't think he's going to be taking. Yep, you saw that. They're getting shoot out of there. Get out of here, Press. We don't want you in here anymore. Get out of here. Forget about it, Press. Forget about it. Let's go over here. And turn that off. Okay, cool. Sorry, I got so many things going on here. I got TikTok stream, I got Kick stream, I got Rumble stream, got all these different streams going here. So got to get things moving. But as we saw, President Trump signing an executive order around the opioid crisis. And we heard some testimonies from some folks who have seen results. We saw some folks talking about their son. Steve Witkoff, for example, talking about his son who struggled with opioid addiction. And so very, very big fan of anything that is combating opioid addiction. I'm not sure if you know about the Sackler family or Purdue Pharma. Sorry, got a tongue twister. Purdue Pharma, though, if you haven't looked into them, highly recommend that you look into them on your own time, because Purdue Pharma is the reason we have the opioid crisis today. Maybe not the sole reason, but one of the main reasons that we have the opioid crisis today is because of the Sackler family and because of the company Purdue Pharma. They're the ones who wanted to put out, I think it was an 80 milligram oxycodone And that's finally when the FDA stepped in and said, what's going on here? Why are all these doctors getting so many kickbacks? And you got all these sales reps going around to doctors to push this on them. So a lot there. There's a couple of great documentaries, great shows, great TV shows, movies, all kinds of things on that. Just Google it. You'll find something that'll be good for you, however you like to take in the content. You can find something on the Sackler family. You can find something on Purdue Pharma. But interesting that we didn't hear anything about Iran, considering the rise in activity we saw around the Pentagon, especially with the pizza report. So very interested to see what unfolds the rest of the day. Got to wrap up here as we have finished that press conference from President Trump. But just want to thank you for joining. If you haven't, click that follow button, smash that like button, leave a comment below on the stream. Appreciate everyone who's joined in today. Appreciate you joining in on TikTok. We'll be ending there. And then appreciate everyone else joining through all the other channels, YouTube, X. We had lots of people on X joining in. So thank you. If you haven't yet, click follow on my X profile and be sure to check out the pinned post on my X profile exposing the alleged fraud here we found in St. Louis, Missouri, similar to what we found in Minneapolis with Nick Shirley. We found similar network of businesses here in St. Louis. So be sure to go follow me at Isaiah Asher on X. You follow me at Isaiah Asher on X. I think if we throw up the banner there, you can find it right here. X.com/Isaiah Asher. Be sure to follow me there. Check out the pinned post. If you're watching on X, go over to my profile, click follow. Thankful for you joining in. Thankful for you supporting me in this stream, in this journey, this political journey. And lots we've heard from President Trump, but nothing on Iran. So we'll see. Anyways, thanks for joining in. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time on our regular show, our weekly show, Straight Talk with Isaiah Asher, streamed tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time right here on Rumble. Be sure to follow me on Rumble. Turn on your notifications so you know as soon as we go live. See you tomorrow night.